Welcome to the Thin Blue Line Outdoors Podcast.
This pig came bottling.
Just ended up puking last night. It sucked.
Whoa! Ah! We gut it, we wrap it in tinfoil, throw it over the fire.
Alrighty, everyone, round two. So, essentially, Ray and I recorded it a couple minutes in, but we're starting over now. We had technology errors. But anyway, this is Thin Blue Line Outdoors Podcast 74 with return guest Ray. Ray was on, last time we saw Ray was the bear hunt back in Canada last year. We had a blast. It was a good time.
Met my expectations, especially for a waterfowl guy going up there and hunting big game. It was a good time.
Yeah, and we ended up killing 3 bears while we were up there. Plus, we had some other guys kill bears before us. My brother had his on film, and then my dad had his recovery on film. So yeah, we had a good time. And then Ray has been up in Wisconsin all year now.
Yep, finally got a full Wisconsin waterfowl season under my belt. Had a good time. Honestly, just this year in general for me was a good all-around year, just outdoorsy wise. You know, caught my personal best on walleye up there in the bay. Got to fish in the bay all the time with those guys. Learned how to maneuver the Great Lakes. Then got to go on the bear hunt with you guys. Got a full waterfowl season under my belt finally. And not gonna lie, Northwoods has pulled me in. I love it.
I know I've always loved going to like Wisconsin, Minnesota, and fishing and stuff like that, but I haven't spent any time hunting up there. But anyway, so Ray, original Illinois guy. So we met in college, been waterfowl hunting together ever since. But this is your first year up in Wisconsin doing the waterfowl game. If you want to rate your season, how you think it went,
honestly,
talk about that.
Like a grade, like I said, from an A to B, I'd give it a B, because it's first year learning. You're learning all these new public places. You're trying to go from me, who I hunted private land here, and then go into the blind draws everywhere. Now this is full on public land where there's no blinds, there's no nothing. It's you're in the chute, and then you got to just make it to your spot. I had some really good days, and then there was a couple weeks in there that I, looked and seen like, man, am I really got to be a waterfowler? Because I'm thinking about golf is looking a lot better at this point. But I had a phenomenal year waterfowl hunting up there. It sucked for you guys down here because
it did.
I was shooting teal until the last week of my season.
I remember you and I texting each other, and you're like, it's like October, right? Or October, November?
It was November.
Yeah, and you sent me, I'm like, what are you shooting teal for up in Wisconsin still?
Well, even
the
woodies, man. I got into them late, and then beautiful plumed birds, but it's for you guys down here. I'm sitting there, and, man, we're still shooting wood ducks up here, teal, the little ducks that should be gone.
Yep.
And we had some really, really good days. Now, I never got into the big ducks because it was a week of they're there, and then they bypassed us and then come down to you guys.
Yep.
But then they stuck in that northern Illinois zone.
Yeah, I don't really recall seeing really a lot of ducks until the last couple weeks of our deer season, which is deer season goes to January 15th. And I saw while hunting, I saw some mallards and stuff coming through. And, of course, the season by then had been closed for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, something like that.
Yeah, and that's just weather dependent. That's the thing that sucks for us duck hunters because we're so dependent on northern weather that if we don't get it, we don't get birds.
Or if you get it too early.
Yeah, and then even some of the times we sat there and got an ice storm, and it pushes all the teal and woody out of there. Well, then a week later, it's back into the 40s, and we get them back again.
Yep.
And we can never get a consistent pattern of what we were going to get until about the last week of the season when I started getting true ice. That's the only thing that killed me because I'd say probably most of it was divers that you're running into.
Oh, yep.
So
they are fun to shoot, though.
They are fun to
shoot.
Like it's an absolute blast, man. They come in just like missiles because they are sailing through.
Yep.
And we had some tough weather there because on the bay, the weather changes so fast.
Yep.
I also learned that the bay has a tide.
I've heard other like YouTubes and stuff say that, but I have no experience with the bay.
I didn't believe it.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here going, man, these guys are whatever. Like they're just in the shallows, and then it just sucks. No, I was standing in what was a foot of water, and then it goes down to me and my brother-in-law took my nephews up there, and we look out, and it's, oh God, we have no water, and our other boat is 400 or 500 yards away, and I'm like, man, we got to go. We got to do this now. But I learned the hard way on a few things. I definitely learned a lot about waterfowlers this year. I've met some really good guys, but man, have I met some bad ones.
Yeah.
It started at the shows that I went to. I went to the Wisconsin Waterfowl Expo.
Yep.
And you meet some guys that you could look at and go, you're genuine guys. You want to talk to everybody and get to know and what you're doing. And then there's just an arrogance level in certain ones. And it's like, man, just why? Why do we have to be like that?
We're all passionate about this, whatever your avenue of hunting is. Obviously, you're there for waterfowl. Like, there's no need to be an ass.
No. And the only thing is even, like I said, I went from private to public ground, so I knew I was in for a lovely, good time.
Yep.
Early season, man, I ran into some guys that just, well, that's my spot. I've been here since 3 a.m. It's 5 minutes to shooting light, and you're just now getting in here. So, not my fault.
It's not your spot today.
Yeah, not your spot today. But I had some guys that come in, and they were like, hey, man, we scouted here too. Perfect. You guys have a boat blind? No. Well, I have room in here. I put them in the boat with us.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
And double the limits, double the decoys. Bring it on. We'll do this. Say, I'm not going to be an ass about it.
How'd you guys do?
We killed, I think we were too short of a limit.
No, that's a good shoot.
We were too short.
That's a good shoot, though.
And of course, trying to fight a couple times of just like guys coming in at first light. And I understand guys are late, guys come in, but common courtesy, man, I saw a lot of it just isn't there.
Yeah.
And ethics and things like that you just, come on, help me out here to where we can do this. But then I met some good old boys who, they were sitting at the boat ramp and showed me their Onyx.
Oh, yeah.
And he was giving me the pins.
Can't beat that.
No. And that's that day I sent you the pictures of the redheads.
Yep.
Because he goes, I'll be there. He goes, meet me there in the morning. Cool. So we all sat there and killed our limits, and we were out. And then I met some farmers that were really good guys. I didn't get a chance to go out there and hunt them because we didn't get the geese until late.
Yeah.
And by the time I did, it's already, too late for me to try to go after them. But then I also met some I'm just going to say it, genuine assholes.
Yeah.
And I don't care that you have a Prodigy boat that's going to be coming through and things like that.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
$30,000 on your setup.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm out here to kill ducks just like you are. There's no need to be like that, especially in arrogance level. And then even if you come out late, don't come running through guys' decoys if you're not out there in time. Sorry that someone beat you to your spot. It's public ground. Your name is not on that spot. There are no blinds. There are no posts. You're either going to hunt there. The worst one that I kind of lost my mind a little bit was we had a genuine spot that we scouted. We looked for it, had it set up beautiful in the backside of a cove that they were coming into. And 5 minutes before shooting light, I see a light at the end of the cove. And I went, no way. 35 yards away, the guy sets up next to us. And I went, that's it. So we hunted for the first hour.
Yeah.
None of the birds wanted to work now that there's two separate spreads and things like that. I said, you know what? Pack up, let's go. Well, then the guy started yelling at me on the way out. I went, this is why I cannot stand guys like that want to duck hunt. If you want to duck hunt and be like that, I'm sorry, you give us a bad name.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Kind of the story kind of reminds me. Obviously, this is more to an escalated level. You hear about those two kids. I think they're in Arkansas, high schoolers that got shot in the head this year. It wasn't on purpose, but you're swinging and just set up too close.
Yeah, and things like that. It's dangerous.
Yeah, you
shoot down towards me, and I try not. I always try to give everybody common courtesy of just 200-300 yards.
Yeah, I'm
gonna try to get away from you. Yeah. I don't want to be on top of anybody. I don't want to ruin anybody's hunt. I don't know why you're out there. You could have kids with you. Things like that. That's what I want to be. I think the thing that pisses me off the most that I hear is the older generation that fires off and goes, I've been hunting for 40 years. That's fine. But this game has changed. I've been doing this for the last, 15, 16 years of my life. And then you have guys like that I know the new ways that the ducks are working. Teach me your ways. I'll teach you mine. We can work together.
And I will say, it seems like now, like you always used to hear, when I talked to my dad who, been duck hunting like back in the 80s and 90s, You know, like they got up early in duck hunt, but not like 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3. I mean, so I work third shift at one of our local agency, and I don't know how many times to go into Casey's or whatever, get me a coffee, not a donut, just coffee, and
don't lie to everybody. You get a donut sometimes
well,
too.
every now and then, but and it'd be like. I remember a couple times, 1, 2 in the morning, and here comes these young high schooler, maybe college age duck hunters. I'm like, you guys heading out? Yep, getting there. I'm like, good luck, man. And, you know, like some of these younger guys, man, they're willing to put in the work now. And I'll give them credit. Like when it comes to big game animals, I'm there. I'll be up at 1, 2 a.m. to do that. You tell me, Cody, when you get up this early hunting ducks, I'm like, bro. Bro.
Listen, man, I'll just have you come out later, okay? You just meet me at the boat ramp at this time. I'll bring you back, okay? No, I met some amazing high school kids this year. I mean, there were some kids that were out there in kayaks and just trying to make it. And they come through and they just ask us genuine questions. I had a couple of them that sat with us this year that they were just, they're like, hey, there's no water back there anymore. Can we, yeah, sure, man. My decoys are set already. So that way, if you guys don't want to be on the spread, it's, 15 minutes before shooting light, just jump in with us. Yeah. And my boat's not, it's not the Taj Mahal. It doesn't have a huge boat blind on it. I just have a scissor blind that I made. It's homemade. And you just have a good time with people. And that's the thing that you make friendships with. And even like the older boys up there, like Mel and things like that, who talk to us. He's a great guy. And he even said the same thing. He goes, I don't want to see this generation die off. I don't want to make it to where the older guys push the younger guys around. And the younger guys trying to, assert dominance to say that, we're the new generation. Yeah. We just want to have fun. We want to kill birds. We all want to do it. None of us should be fighting at the boat ramps and things like that for stupid little reasons. Yeah.
Actually, so you kind of brought up something I want to talk about, because like if you look on Instagram, YouTube and stuff, you see these guys with thousands and thousands of dollars worth of equipment. And if you're a new hunter looking into it, like you're like, wow. But I know like your setup is like a modest setup. It gets you to point A to point B, and you can kill ducks out of it. If you want to kind of talk about your setup, and then maybe if you give it approximate value of everything.
Yeah. So I don't have a souped up setup. Like my boat, I bought it for $2,000. I have $100 scissor blind on it that I literally built up myself. Had to make in a pinch, and then it worked all season for me. Yeah, is it a beaver tail blind? Is it anything? No, but it's one that it's got me through all year. I've killed ducks out of it. I've had a lot of things go right with it. I've had some struggles. There's days where I run. I think at a time I was running 2 dozen goose floaters, a dozen mallards, and an agitator. I pulled my mojos. Yeah. I pulled them.
You didn't like them?
No, they weren't working. They weren't doing anything.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And I figured out, I was like, man, let's take these down and see. And then I had birds finish. They just...
I think birds almost now... Well, like when mojos first came out, they were like, wow,
they were the next deal. Yeah. They're amazing.
Yeah, but you think now they're overused?
Yeah.
You think?
I think so, truly. Now, when I was talking to the guys down in Missouri with us, now in the fields... Yeah, they're still working great because they just get attention out in the fields because they can't see, obviously, ducks from above and
black dots and dark brown dirt. Yeah.
Exactly. And then it's a good attention getter in the fields. But out on the water anymore, I've had so many birds flare off of it. I know guys struggle with geese to get them to finish on those. And just little things like that. So I just went to a rippler and an agitator. And even the agitator, some days I have it on a remote and I turn it off because birds they're used to seeing it. I'm going back to the good old style, just jerk rig. That's all I'm doing.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Save myself a little bit on that and call it good. But you do not... I killed a lot of birds over a dozen decoys this year. It's not something you have to go out and get, hundreds upon hundreds of decoys and try and get them to do it right. There are days that less is more, and some days more is less. And... You'll run into the guys that, like you said, they have the thousands of dollars in spreads and setups and everything, and I killed them. And it's like, man, now here I am sitting with my modest amount. You guys spent twice as much as I did, and you don't have to go out and buy the super expensive decoys. You don't have to go out and buy thousands of them or anything like that. You don't have to have it. It's something that we don't do, and I still have very good success. So if any new waterfowlers are listening to this and they want advice, Yeah, you probably want to bulk up later, but you don't have to do it right away.
Yeah. What kind of motor you got on it? Your boat?
25 Yamaha.
Okay. If you had to just take a guess, when you go every day when you're going out, gun, camo, boat, motor, decoys, how much money you think you got into everything?
Probably close to maybe $4,000, maybe at max. I mean, like there are days where I have, like I said, I got a $2,000 in boat. I shoot an SX4, which is going for retail at $899, and then my decoys are a dozen plus 2 dozen full body or floater geese. Like I said, I'm probably spending $4,000.
Yeah, and this is also, Ray's been hunting since a little guy.
Yeah,
so like you've collected enough stuff.
I've collected enough. I've collected enough knowledge that, like I said, I'm not telling anybody that you have to go out and spend the most amount of money on things. And I'm going high because I was using avians this year for the first time. Yeah, I went high dollar on them.
Flocked heads? Yeah, you got to.
If you're going to go big on it, get the flocked heads and things like that. But if you're going just sometimes in those little water holes, you do not have to spend the money. You can use the classic, go to, your local decoy seller and get a 6-pack, and you can do that. You can do, the cheapest decoys you want. Heck, I'll tell anybody, go get yourself some coot decoys. You got to get the confidence decoys in there. And I spent the money on it, and it worked great.
Yeah. Did you do any coot shooting?
I did.
Yeah.
There was a couple days
Hey, I get it. People hate on it, which I've never ate a coot, but man, they're fun to shoot.
They're fun to shoot, but I had a guy that I actually worked with when I was working at the college, and he made them. And, Yep, and we set them up, and he made jalapeno poppers out of them, and he cooked them up great. And surprisingly, they're not that bad.
Go keep that in mind.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, they're wasted. You got to marinate it. I'm not saying you can't just just go and cut these things out and then expect to grill them and be fine. You got to do a little bit of work to them, but they're, in my opinion, they ain't too much worse than a diver. I've had some. Yeah. Granted, you've been with me when we've done some really bad cooks on them and been like, that's bad. But no, we found out this year that you can do that, and like I said, none of them went to waste, so we gladly used them all. So and if anybody from PETA is listening, like I said, make sure that they know we did use them, we did eat them, okay? But and then like I said, if any new guys are trying to get into it, you do not have to go high dollar right away. So that's just the thing, to make sure, don't get yourself discouraged if you want to start into it. If you want to do anything like that, go get yourself a box of shells, shotgun. If you know anybody that does it, listen to them. They'll tell you. They won't steer you wrong. So, but other than that, it's a fun thing. I absolutely love it. I know you guys are all deer hunters, but man, I love the fowl in the sky. It's my passion to chase.
It's fun. Like I said, I don't hate duck hunting. I enjoy it. I just like deer hunting more usually.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. And like me, if I had the ability to, I would probably deer hunt a little more. But you have property that you can use. Me, I didn't have that ability. I would say I deer hunted this year up in Wisconsin with a friend of mine.
Yeah, I like him.
I pulled a U from a couple years ago where you had the red dot go weird on you. So I was shooting muzzleloader season, and
I think you told me about this.
I set up perfectly. And I had a doe come through, and she was 30 yards. And I'm like, perfect. I set the gun on the stand, and I had a chip shot. Pulled the trigger, all of them ran off, and I'm walking over. There's no blood, no nothing. And I'm like, man, there's no way I missed this chip shot. 2 hours we're out there looking. Found one little blotch of blood, and he got... And then we went back to the car, and I had to unload the gun, so I shot it again. And on a big old oak tree, I never even hit it. And he goes, oh, that's a problem. Yeah. So he took it to the range a couple days later, and he found out that the scope was actually caddied off the...
Was it his gun?
Yeah, it was his muzzleloader. He allowed me
hit him, like, way to go.
No, he actually, for a couple days, he sat there and made me feel like I missed it. Like, it was my fault. And he goes, I shouldn't have told you. I should just let you keep thinking that you missed it.
Yeah, that's funny.
But...
That's funny.
No, I mean, I could have had the shot to do so, but it's one that... It just didn't go my way that day, and it wasn't her day to die. So
she's out there getting bigger. Bigger for you next year.
Exactly.
I know. I mean, I guess for Wisconsin now, what's your plans for 2024? I know we're getting good prime fishing season's coming.
It's they're knocking the walleyes now. So we never truly got good ice. I mean, we had a couple weeks there that guys were getting out and fishing on the ice, but right now they're still opening water up on the rivers.
Oh, really?
They're catching walleyes now. And this is a rarity because normally this time we're fighting 18, 19 inches of ice. And the bay was not safe enough. I mean, I drove down one day and guys were ice fishing, and I watched a four-wheeler go into the drink, and I'm like, man, what made you even think that was a smart idea? But Wisconsin 2024, I got some really good ideas. I got some things that I plan on looking at now I know where I can go. I know where my public land is, where my zones are, where I got to do, where I got to be. If there's anybody out there that's going to sell a 50-horse tiller handle motor, please let me know. Because the 25 with a load of decoys on it don't like it. Yeah. It's not a good...
You're not winning the race from the boat launch?
Yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah.
Or if anybody has a 40-horse, mud motor that they're willing to sell, hit me up.
Yeah.
I'm looking. But that is something that is just an advantage that I got to pay attention to. Because even on the bay, my boat is not big enough for that some days.
Yeah.
There are guys that have the big plate boats and things like that that go out there, and you just have to, you can't beat them. Yeah. There's no way that you're going to, the bay is one that it can go from a foot roller to a 5-foot roller in 0.2 seconds. We got caught out there in a storm.
Were you out there at all? Any sketchiness?
We found out the hard way one day because we're sitting there and it was only supposed to be 5 to 10 mile an hour wind. Well, then it changed to a 30 mile an hour wind, and the rollers started coming, and I'm like, man, we gotta go. Well, then a plate boat come through the marsh, and he met us at the edge, and he goes, stay behind us.
Yeah, use their wake.
Yep, and he was breaking wake for us the whole way, and met him at the boat ramp, and he comes up and he goes, I had the exact same problem last year. He goes, that's why I bought this. And I was like, thank you, sir. I will gladly listen.
Yep.
Definitely going to pay attention to that because there's a few more inland public accesses that, I had a really good look at. I shot my first wood duck band on one of those areas. So I have some good ideas of what I'm doing there, what I'm going to hunt there, what days I'm going to try to hunt, like weather-wise. And then the bay is just going to be, some days it's going to be combat hunting. You just got to try to win the race off the boat ramp and hope you can get to the spot you scouted.
Yep.
But that's also why we have 4 or 5 little areas that we try to hunt. So multiple scouting spots is a key on public land. Don't expect that you're going to be the first one there. It's not going to happen every time. But best advice I can give you on public, if you don't have like the boat, like the blind draws and things like that, just have a few spots in mind. Yeah. So just be ready to scout a lot.
Yep. Nope. I get that. I know. It's a whole new game that I'm not like familiar with and stuff. So I'm happy you're doing it, and I can just live and learn through you.
Yeah, exactly. I can hopefully I'm doing the growing pains for you guys. So, but no, it's after doing it this season for a full season, I fell in love with it and actually loving the Wisconsin waterfowl style. So
good. I'm happy to hear that. I know we talked about it beforehand. We knew this last year for you were going to be a learning experience and all that stuff. So happy you got your feet wet and all that good stuff. I know. Did you ever get your bear hide back?
No,
I don't know if you got that
I haven't gotten it back yet. I took it to one of the local tax shops down here and got it. Man, was I. After that bear hunt, man, was I sick for a few days.
Yeah. So essentially, I've briefly talked about this. So when we went to Canada last year, it was the hottest we've ever been a part of. The bugs are bad. The heat was, it was just terrible. So anyway, I've hunted some hot days out there, but it was definitely the hottest. So what we usually do, and I think we screwed up to a level. But I also think we were going to be in trouble a little bit no matter what. So essentially what happened, Ray and I killed our bears the same day. And I really think you were screwed.
I think I was screwed from the beginning. Yeah. I killed mine super early.
Yeah, so like 3-4 hours left, right?
I think it was 5:45, and you even said in your video, you're like, he's got a long time to wait now.
Yeah, and I'm not knocking you for this. Obviously, Ray's mainly a waterfowl hunter, and when you get a bear, you probably want it either the hide tanned or in a rug. You know it's going to be one of the two. So, you were nervous about, hey, I don't want to mess up.
Yeah, I don't want to mess this up. I don't want to, if there's a special way to field dress them, I wasn't.
Yeah.
Because, like deer, I can field dress a deer fine. But, like, my first time with a bear, I didn't know if there's a certain way you had to, if they had to keep, certain reproductive organs on there, like some places that you go out west.
Yep.
And I just did not want to mess with it.
Yeah,
but,
and we even told you, hey, wait, if you shoot a bear, wait. Either my dad or I will be there, and we'll coach you through the process. And
until I hit that stomach.
yeah. So anyway, Ray killed his bear, then I killed mine. And I killed mine the last hour. So like I gutted and cleaned mine right away. Or gutted anyway when I found it. We went back, and we gutted Ray's. Meat smelled fine at that time.
Yeah, at that time we were fine
too. Yep. And we left, and what we've always done, because we've never had the issue before. We hang the bears, and we take care of it first thing in the morning, with the hide and still on. Hindsight, we should have taken the hide off that night.
Yeah, I mean, as much as we hated it, we even said we should have bit the bullet and just stayed up.
Honestly, probably should have done it all that night. It would have sucked.
Yeah, it would have been rough the next day, but after looking at it now, we should have done it.
And even if we did that, I think you were for sure going to have some meat loss, and I think I was going to have some meat loss.
What got me, though, is Colton's bear.
Yes, that's what I was going to bring up. So Colton's bear, Colton went in the morning, shot this sow, real beautiful chocolate sow. So we hear him shoot.
Say, it was quick.
Yeah, we hear him shoot, and we all, because he was several miles from camp, but there's no other noise out there.
Yeah, you're going to hear it.
Yeah, so we take off on the trucks and fullers, go over there to help him, meet him, and, from an hour when he shot, we had that bear gutted and skin's already coming off. And we
had it butchered within an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Because there was 3 of us working on it.
Yeah. Yeah,
and we still lost meat.
We still lost meat on the sow, and that was the craziness. We lost all the rib meat. I think the tenderloins, rib meat, tenderloins. That might have been. I think that was all.
Because I think we saved the rest of it for the most part.
Yeah, we got the back straps and we got the front quarters and back quarter. But still, that was so. That's just to say, from the moment he shot it to the moment that bear was on ice, 2 hours at the most.
Yeah.
And that was nuts. I mean. So, like, we're going, like, some of us are going back this year. We're going way early compared to that because the bear movement was decent because, I mean, we can't really complain. Everybody killed a bear with Kyle.
Well, Kyle got his in the second, which I was so happy for. At least he got it the second time.
And he had 0 issues with me, and he did what we did.
Yeah.
It's 0 issues. So that tells you right there.
The heat got us.
Yeah. So if I ever experience that again, number 1, I'll have a better cooler. Number 2, I'll just stay up.
Yeah, at that point we just have to because that's just bite the bullet and do it.
Yeah, there was a week or 2 afterwards, like almost put like a I don't know, like a weird haze on the hunt, kind of where like we had such a good time, had such a fun time, and then we thought it ended on a high note, and then we lost all that meat.
And then all of us, even on the phone when we all talked to each other, was.
Debbie Downers.
Oh, dude, I was so mad, and I wasn't mad at anybody. Like it's not like, well, why didn't Cody help me do this, or why couldn't we just do this faster, or why wouldn't I just be smart and just go field dress it now? You did everything by the book that you can. It's just Mother Nature got you.
Yep.
And it's just it's a gut wrench that you're just like, man, I'm not that type of hunter. I like to have everything that I kill. I like to eat it. I like to harvest it to have, so many different things that, that it's not just trophy hunting to me. And that was the most gut-wrenching feel of like, man, this is just defeating. Yeah,
I've been hunting, if you count deer as big game animals my whole life, and I've never lost meat. I've never, you make a gut shot and you might lose like a quarter or something, but like I've never lost a whole animal before. And that was the first for me, and it sucked. I lived and learned, and as long as I can help it, that'll never happen again.
Yeah, that's the only thing is, like me, I'm the same way as you. I've hunted the Illinois shotgun season every year and never lost a deer. I've done that since I was 10. And then we do that, and it's just, like I said, I can't say it enough that it's just, it's a punch to the stomach of just all the emotions and everything.
At least, like I said, so we didn't get the meat from that hunt, but you know, we got the memories. We got it's all on video, all our kills and stuff, and then obviously the hides and stuff were fine too. So, so I mean, at least we got everything but the meat, and it sucks because obviously we wanted the meat, but it is what it is. Live and learn, and that's why we're talking about it. So hopefully.
Anybody who has that happen, if you kill a bear up there in the heat, or if you get a chance to kill a bear,
if you're even questioning it,
just do it. Don't hesitate. Don't even think. Just do it.
And that was the thing we talked about it that night. Because I remember Dad and I were talking, and I was like, should we just stay up and do it? And he's like, we've never had to before, and we've never had an issue. I'm like, yeah,
but it's hot.
Yeah. We're just like, I think we're fine, and we weren't, obviously. So,
and that's a bad thing that just. Even after us talking about it, anybody who does it, just do it. Don't bite the bullet. Sleep in a little bit if you've killed yours.
Yep, 100% on that. Well, Ray, we're at at least the 30-minute mark. Is there anything you want to talk about, or for me to talk about with like the future of the brand or anything like that, or any questions for the brand or ideas for it?
No. Is there any way I can give a shout out for my Missouri trip that I just did?
Oh yeah, actually no. We got to talk about that whole Missouri trip. Yeah. We went on a tangent with Wisconsin. I forgot. Yeah, go ahead.
So I just got back yesterday. So, and I was down in Rula, Nebraska with Pro Outfitters, who is a great outfitter to go through for waterfowl, deer, turkey. Anything you want to do in Missouri, Nebraska, they're great guys. I highly suggest using them. And it was for what we had. We were there for 3 days, got 3 square meals a day, and had amazing time. You know, these guys are hunting out of the metal comfort pits, you know, and they spoil you.
Yeah.
My guide Connor, dude, shout out to him, great guy. I watched him struggle for 3 straight days though. It's kind of the hardest thing ever when you're sitting there and you have a million birds sitting over on the refuge and you cannot get a thing to commit.
Yeah.
We killed 10 birds in 3 days, and that was high kill in the lodge.
What's a 1 man limit down there?
None. We got nothing. So down there we're hunting the extension tubes. We're just coming up with 10 shots at a time when we're shooting. And down there's no limit. So normally big guys like that, you're killing 30s and 40s. We killed 10 in 3 days. So it was slow. It was rough. But like I said, Connor was trying to help us as much as we could. We took some shots that he was like, I normally won't take those, but with this part of the season, we're going to take. And we knocked the birds down. And he was super sweet. He was cool about it. He's like, yeah, you know, good for you guys. You guys are going to take these shots.
Yep.
The lodge where they had the food, the cooks, shout out to them. They were amazing.
Yep.
And then, like I said, all those guys are Pro Outfitters, absolute amazing crew. All the guys are super cool guys. The people in the lodge were amazing. And I highly suggest if anybody's going to do a waterfowl hunt, or even if you want to do a deer or turkey hunt, call them up. You look them up on Facebook, Pro Outfitters. Best time I had. But yeah, Connor and his dog Bella, getting to see them work was a lot of fun on that trip. I don't really have much to say because, like I said, we didn't shoot anything. We were hunting in spreads of like 2,000 decoys. Yeah. And me and Dad are both sitting here. I'm like, man, we do this back home. And down there, everybody's not running the big spreads.
Oh, really?
Like here, where you have the 10,000 bird spreads, no one's doing that down there.
Really?
You see the spreads there, and you see some big spreads, 3,000-4,000. That's a big spread down there. And those guys down there are not doing it. They're running 2,000, 2,500 mix of socks, full body silhouettes, just a mixture. And they're having great luck. Yeah. Like they can pull the big groups just when they're sitting there and they're hunting stale birds who have been shot at all the way from, Canada down to Louisiana, down into Arkansas. They know. They're not dumb. You could physically watch them come out of their refuge and start bouncing fields. You watch these groups go through, and they know. They're not dumb. Sometimes the dumbest smart animal I've ever seen in my life. But no, that is definitely one of the most fun trips besides, like I said, the bear hunt that we've been on. Just being able to be with my dad, some friends. Like I said, I went with some friends from Wisconsin that I've met and just had a great time.
So I've only ever really been with two outfitter hunts, and one was the bear hunt when our outfitter was a little younger, and then obviously I go to this Texas hunt, and I one thing I got to say about outfitters, I think a lot of times you got this new public land craze and stuff, and I agree. Public land hunting's fun, it's a challenge, and awesome, but I think outfitters sometimes get hated on because I learned something new from them. Like whether like when it comes down to Texas, Harvey, obviously the way they're catching the pigs, putting them in a high fence operation. So like, well, what can you learn? Well, I learned from them. You learn about how pigs react at times, and I also learn where how he processes. He's so quick at it, and like just watching him process, I'm like, I thought I was a pretty good deer processor, and I'm watching how he does with pigs. I'm like, oh man, I am leaps and bounds behind. And like same thing with Sid about bear movement and stuff. So like going with an outfitter like that, and obviously you've been snow goose hunting for years now, but I'm sure you picked up tips and tricks that you had no idea.
I picked up from them, and then even those guys were asking us questions because they're like, "How do you guys do this in Illinois?" And there was things that we were doing, and he's like, "If we want to try it, let's get out and try it." Yeah. And then there's times where I've been around outfitters that would never even think to do that. They have a certain arrogance to them that this is my stuff, this is how I'm doing it. Do you like it or not? And then take it that way. But they were easy going about that. They were telling us things. Hey, this is what we do. This is how we react. How they do things. They were running in between e-collars while we were down there. Yep. So they were running between brands of a couple different ones that they wanted to use. And then he's like, what do you guys use? And then they're looking them up there at the lodge with us. And then we're showing them, and then they're asking us questions. We're asking them, bouncing things off of each other. Cleaning the birds, though, yeah, I'm with you, though. Those guys there, they have a bird stripped and done in, a matter of 2 minutes. Me, I'm sitting there like cutting the breast outs and trying to keep it as clean as I can. Yep. But those guys down there have it down to a science and leaps and pounds behind, like you said, which you learn, but at the same time, hunting's not always going to be the big kills and things like that. So that's just kind of a maturity thing that I've learned with myself and everybody else. And sometimes you just got to, like those guys, when they're talking to us, they've even said it, like, we're sorry. We would love to have 1,000 birds and, you guys getting 100 birds a day. But they said and I'm like, that's hunting. Yeah. It's not. Yeah. Did I have high expectations going down there and then seeing the refuge of 1 million some birds and going, yeah, this is going to be fun. And then seeing the first day we were there and I watched them do it, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a long weekend. Yeah. But at
least you had fun. You went with your dad, right? And stuff. So I know you probably don't get to hunt that much together anymore.
Not anymore. Right? Yeah. It just kind of where we went hunting every weekend. Now that's the first time I got to hunt with dad all year. I didn't even get to hunt with him last year. So probably a year and a half I haven't been able to hunt with my dad.
That probably felt good at least. Then.
Oh, yeah. Loved it. We got a good friend of ours out with us. Like I said, the guys from Wisconsin, they don't shoot at snow geese because we don't get them up there. Yeah. It's just something we're not in their flyway. And we get a couple here and there, but nothing major like we do down here and over there. But yeah, no, definitely had a blast with it. Had some fun and gotten another memory, chalk it up, say, hey, remember that trip? Yeah, it was rough, but just adds to.
Now, I don't know if you've seen my goose hunting this year, so if you need any pointers, you just let me know, okay? I'll help you out.
Crawling out there in the field.
I was giving Ray and them crap, so I forget what. I was setting up for my son's birthday party, and it was like 2 days left of goose season or something like that.
It was late.
Yeah, it was like I had like a day or two left. I remember I hear a honk, and I look out, and there's like 80 yards in my field. There's a one lone Canadian. I'm like, you screwed up, bud. You screwed up.
This is going to happen. I'm going to try.
And, I turkey swat it, essentially, just like a turkey.
Exactly. Go right for that headshot. Call it good. Hey, I am not opposed to water swatting or ground swatting. If it's, at this point, if it flies, it dies. Like, I'm going to try. It's...
My wife was giving me crap, so, no, she was told, but I was getting stuff ready outside. That's all she knew. All of a sudden, she hears a knock on the window. I'm sitting with a shotgun and a dead bird. She was like, what are you doing? Up for a party. So that was fun.
No, that was funny. I even texted you after you posted the video. I went, man, that had to be the most exciting goose I saw this year. But the funny part was the dog. Seeing your dog reaction to
pups up here somewhere. That was our first ever exposure to any bird other than our chickens. So yeah, she's like, I don't know what to do with this.
Exactly. funniest thing is like watching the videos of the guys with the dogs with sandhills. Oh, that's the funniest thing ever.
Yeah.
It's, you watch them just go out there to this monster of a bird. And it's just, what do you expect me to do with this? They're used to picking up ducks and everything else. And then you give them this 4-foot tall monster of a bird.
You brought up sandhill cranes. I got something to say about sandhill cranes. You know, you hear ribeyes of the sky when you hear sandhill cranes. My dad and some friends went out a couple years ago, got into some, killed some, brought them back. I was super excited to try them. So excited to try them. I want to try these, ribeyes of the sky, whatever. I was disappointed.
No?
I was very disappointed.
No, come on, don't tell me that.
I was very disappointed. Yeah, it's not bad. It's good, but like, I was expecting a damn steak.
Oh, exactly. You're expecting it, like they say, the ribeye of the sky.
Yeah, and it's not even close.
The one that I'm not gonna lie, my favorite is speck. Like speck.
Yeah, I've yet to eat speck. I've heard that though.
From me, that's my favorite waterfowl to cook. After that, it's got to be a mallard.
That's the big ducks.
Yeah,
like that. Yep.
Like those, but just because they're the easiest to work with. But my other one, I like snow geese. They taste good when you can cook them. You cook them right. They actually have a good. If you drench them in water, you get that blood out of it to where it's not that gamey flavor. They cook up amazing. And I've cooked them up many different ways. I've baked them. I've grilled them. I've had things with them. But they're phenomenal.
I've been doing with the Canadians when I kill them. I throw them right in the smoker with a little seasoning and barbecue sauce. And even my daughter, she'll eat them. So it's good.
So you gotta, you gotta try things. Waterfowl hunting, look at pages, look and see what guys are doing. Because I learned a lot of recipes, and my girlfriend does not. She's not a wild game person. She's a very picky eater, kind of like me sometimes. But she is one that I've thrown down some duck and goose breast there on the table and kind of cut it up different. And then she's sitting there eating it, and she's like, "Man, that's awesome. What is that?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's goose." She kind of has that weird look on her face. I'm like, "You like it? Don't even." And then she'll start there eating it more, and I'm like, "Yes." All right, I gotta try to keep this up.
Good deal. Well, Ray, anything else?
Not right offhand. Besides, telling the waterfowlers, quit being dicks, please.
Yes, let's just go with all hunters in general. Hunters and fishermen. Like, there's no need to be an asshole.
Yeah, lighten up, guys. Yeah. There's no need for it. We're all out here doing the same thing. Please lighten up.
Yeah, we're trying to have fun here, damn it.
We're not all know-it-alls. We're not all professionals. You guys can call yourself professionals, but you guys have bad days too.
And if you think this brand, and we're saying we're professionals, you ain't been watching long enough. No. Yeah,
so. I wish the only thing that I got to bring up is me and Cody's one duck hunt that we have had that we still kick ourselves in the ass for is we had a lone pintail.
Three shooters.
And we all jump up at 20 yards. This perfect sprigged out pintail drake.
Oh, pretty
absolute mounter bird. 9 shots, and that thing still flew out.
Didn't touch him. Shout out to team member Cooper. That was all 3 of us. That was embarrassing. I wish we had that in the video. That would have been funny.
So, man. I was one of the funniest things ever because all 3 of us looked at each other like, did that seriously just happen? Like, this is going on here. But no, other than that, trying to get the brand a little bit more out in Wisconsin this year, as soon as I can get some better video quality for you. So
yeah, appreciate it. You're gonna see Ray's got some videos of some of his hunts this year. Probably gonna be making it into like social posts, reels and stuff. So you should be seeing that, guys. So thank you, Ray, for that.
Absolutely, man.
Good talking to you. Shout out. By the time this comes out, I believe the Iowa Deer Classic will already be done. That would be March 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Hopefully I saw you guys there. I'll be there along with team member Nate and then my dad. And then, when this comes out, we have the Illinois show coming up March. I believe it's 8th, 9th, and 10, or it's 7, 8, 9. I think it's 8, 9, 10. Whatever.
Oh, you're going to be having some fun couple weeks there. And that's all I remember you telling us.
So in that one, I have quite a bit of team members on that one. So come see us, guys. We'll have some merchandise. Actually, got to get Ray a new hat. An old new hat, whatever. But we got a whole bunch of hats and other merchandise there. Hopefully, see you guys there. And be safe out there. Have a good one.